Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Sarah and I'm glad to have you here if you're new or if you're returning. So this whole concept idea started with a trip to Joann's one day when I suddenly found myself with the opportunity to do so. And so I picked up these, but these were an online order that I made after the fact, because the original ones I did at the Big Twist Rave, which is what this is I picked up this color and this color at the store. You can see that I've used some of them in some infinity scarf projects, and while I was working with them, I noted on the label itself that there are recommended quantities of how many balls you can get if you want to make these different items. This one with the sweater intrigued me quite a bit, and now I want to see if it's actually possible. So we're gonna try to make a sweater with these three colors of the Big Twist Rave, and we're gonna see if it makes a sweater big enough to fit me, because I'm kind of chunky. I'm on the chunky side. Well, I don't disagree with that, but I'm also 5'9", so it kind of works, I believe. So comfortable for me is probably like large, maybe an extra large, depending on how clothing is measured. And so we're gonna see if 3 balls can actually do that. So stay tuned. So what I was so excited that I forgot to tell y'all is that each of these balls of the Big Twist are 312 yards or 285 meters, and it's a weight of about 5.3 ounces or 150 grams. So I also did what was recommended for the gauge size of using size 9 for the knitting and whatnot, and all I could find in wood or any needles at all was just these double points, which they work just fine. And so this is how the gauge swatch knitted up, and I quite like it a lot. So I am going to go wash and soak this to block it out to see how it does, and I'll check in at the next stage. It's definitely been 10 days since I knitted and washed this swatch all up, and I do have the measurements. So 2 inches across is going to be 7.5 stitches. With for 1 inch up in rows, that's gonna be 5 rows. And so that's the measurements I'm gonna do. I used size 9 needles, and I quite like how this feels and how floppy it is. So like I said, I am going to attempt to see if all of this will basically be enough for an entire sweater. I chose these colors because if you look carefully, all of the 6 rainbow colors are actually represented, even though they look kind of strange. They look more like tertiary than primary. So you've got the green and blue, you've got the yellow and orange, and then you got the pink or red, but pink and then purple. So I plan to do stripes of each in alternating patterns, and we're gonna see how this looks because all of the rainbow colors are represented, and I am excited to try this. So the next step is to get my math worked out and all the measurements needed to basically figure out how many stitches to cast on and go from there. This will probably be at least the 3rd, maybe 4th sweater that I've done with the custom raglan pattern. So it's nothing new to me. I just need to work out the starting mathematical calculations to get it going. And oh yeah, I'm also going to do the cool weight measurements to kind of see how close this is to the, like, how close are we to 150 grams in each ball. I've got some perfect calculations I can work out, and assuming that I do get an entire 312 in each of these, that's gonna be 936 yards to work with. So definitely, I imagine I should have definitely enough to make a sweater, but that's the whole point of this video. Here I am with my kitchen scale, and I've taken the labels off, and as you're seeing on screen, this is 5.1 ounces, and I'm thinking to myself here, what's up with that? And so I'm like, okay, that's all right. And then again, 5.1 ounces. So you'll see I laid a label on, and that's where the 5.3 comes in. So this will be really interesting to see, like, if the manufacturers are factoring the weight of the labels as well, because that could be. Next, I've set it over to grams and done that off screen, and I'm supposed to get 150, so 149, that's really good. Like, that's really close. I would not be upset about that. 148, still really good. And yeah, I forgot to weigh the green one, but that's okay. So I measured I figured out the math on my stitches, and I started the neck of the custom raglan, and I am so amused that the center pole here was actually upside down with that label. And I forgot to measure and weigh that one out before I started knitting, but I did get the other two. I'm planning on knitting around until maybe, this will probably be pretty good because I've got a little bit here, and I'm going to color change next into the orange and then go with the pink purple, because my plan is to use the pink and purple for the neckline once I get there. So we'll kind of just not have all the colors just together and whatnot. It's gonna look super cool, and I'm gonna get knitting on that a bit later. I haven't quite figured out or decided exactly where I'm gonna do my color change, but I am thinking that it'll be about every 12 to 13 rounds around. That'll be the section of, that'll be the width of the changes in colors. So that's what I plan to do, and I am just going to continue on knitting so I can get this working on. So my measurements for myself, I am, like I said earlier in the video, I am a bit on the chunkier side, but that's not necessarily a bad thing, because that's what I'm doing for this video, is to test to see if I can make an actual sweater. And it would be easy if I was like a size like small or something, then there would probably be no question, but being the size that I am, I wouldn't exactly call myself plus size, and I'm definitely not on the higher end of that. So if anybody else, I am definitely not gatekeeping at all this test of to see whether you can make a sweater out of 3 balls or not. So, and if you want to try a different sweater, like, just like, I'm using 3 colors of yarn here because I like a lot of color, and this is no shock, no surprise. But maybe somebody wants to do a more intricate style with, say, just 1 set color. Do anything. I want to see people be challenged to see if what the manufacturers claim that you can do on the yarn labels, can you actually do it, or do you have to buy more yarn? So, but anyway, I'm Sarah. This is Sarah Smart Yarns. If this is the first time you've come across my channel, hi and welcome. We love to have you. If you like my content, if you don't like my content, leave a comment, like, dislike. It doesn't really matter to me. And if you like what I do here and you don't want this to go missing, because there's a lot of content out on YouTube, go ahead and click that subscribe button. I'd love to see you here again, and as always, go make something sparkle today. I'll see you in the next one. Take care.